Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
What's up? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline. It's Wednesday, March 11th. I'm Nick Eatman. The Cowboys free agency is underway. We've got the official start of the league year later today, but it doesn't seem to really stop anything. I mean, it's like it's almost all done now, even though that's not really the case. But the first wave of free agency has hit now. As we've learned, not everything that we think is happening is actually going to happen. It's the first time in a while I've seen an agreed to terms in such a big story change like it did, and we all know. We see what's happened with the Max Crosby situation. Obviously, the Cowboys were players in that the first time around. As it looks right now, it doesn't sound like the Cowboys are the quote re-engaging in those talks. But you never know. You never know. I mean, they said they weren't trading Micah either. So I mean, I believe that though that they're probably not going down that road again. There's going to be more details coming out of that. This is just kind of a very unique situation of what happened there. But the Cowboys have made moves. Maybe not as many as some of you guys would like, but they have made moves. They've done some things. We'll see what happens from here. But we'll talk about it. 888-855-2297 is the number to call. Let's start. Cowboy Nico, he's in Colorado Springs. What's up, man?
What's up, Cowboys Nation? Nick, on the other hand of your thought of, I don't think they're going to go after him, I say we're going to go after him. Please go after him. Do something, Jerry. This is your time. This is the man. Get it. Get it. Bring in Gary and Crosby at the same time. Talk about a dominant pass rush. You got one, like Brian Broaddus says, can clog up the middle, does not miss tackles. And then you got the guy that comes off the end ripping. We need Max. I'm just saying, I'm excited about that. Now, the other part, I am definitely not excited about how much we have not spent. If we're going to bust the budget, Max is the way to go. So to quote Jerry, bust that budget. Let's do it, because now is the time. Now is the time. Last thing before I go. Two things, actually. Chris, is there a way we can get one guy that has not called onto this show? Maybe you can check in on him and have him try to call this show, because I think he'd be great for the Storyliners. I would love to hear Nebby call this show, because Nebby knows ball. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, listen to the other shows. He calls in there. And the last thing, of course, ask for help. Sergeant Super President, and let's get riding. Let's go, Cowboys.
All right. Thanks for the call. I have no idea who he's talking about. It said someone else that hasn't called the show. I think we have enough callers, and nothing against anybody else, but that's what I always hear is that it's tough to get in. But yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe I don't listen to as many of the other shows. I don't know who he's referencing there. All right. Matt, he wants Max Crosby. I mean, let's look at the details of what it is. I mean, what happened? I mean, the weird part about the Ravens thing is that I don't think the NFL is going to be too happy or is too happy with how it went down. If you just look at, all right, we had a deal, and then next thing you know, oh, the price has gone down for Hendrickson. We can just get Hendrickson and still keep our picks. Let's do that. So, and failed physical, whatever. I mean, of course he failed his physical. he has knee surgeries. But then again, I don't know all the details of what they're looking at, what they see, things like that. But it does look odd and suspicious to have a situation like this and then pull back from the trade. But then again, the league has set this up for themselves, because this is what the league has done. They open up a tampering period and then, get upset, I guess, when things change like that and there's agreed to terms, it's not official and all that kind of stuff. Don't get me started on that. It's been a mess here, as you can see and haven't seen, and some of the things we've posted and haven't posted on the website, social media, all that. All right, Davion in Illinois is next. Davion, what's up?
What it do, my boy?
How you
What it
doing?
do? Man, doing good. I had to take a couple weeks working hard up here, getting these trucks and vans built for America. So,
America.
Okay. Yeah, man, we just watching these.
What do you think?
Ratings, this thing goes, man, it's wild. This is going to be wild and messy the way this thing looking right now. But of the guys we got so far, who you think will probably have a big impact? Thompson or Gary?
Well, you hope it's Gary. Because if it is Gary, then it could be Thompson. But if it's Thompson, then it's probably not Gary. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I believe I'm a believer in pass rush first. I believe that those safeties and corners played well when Micah Parsons was screaming off the edge, and so I feel like if Rashawn Gary's doing his thing and playing well, then I think that you'll see an impact with the rest of the guys. But I've heard some really good things out of Jalen Thompson. So. And it sounds like he's well respected. Yeah, both the big guys that they've signed and they've added or traded or signed, the two big names both come reunite with coaches that are here on the staff. So, then again, Sanborn reunited with Eberflus. I mean, not to pick on them. I'm just saying. Reuniting isn't always the end all be all, but these two players I think will come in and immediately help them. So
yeah, I think so. I think honestly, I would hope that it's. I don't think Gary's going to be the edge. I think he's going to be the committee. I think that the edge is either coming I guess your last call. I didn't hear what he said, but I know you're talking about that Crosby guy or. Mm-hmm. The guy they draft in the draft. I think we most likely going to try to get one in the draft. But I need to see, because I'm, of course, I work nights, so I'm about to lay it down. But hopefully by when I wake up, we got us a linebacker. That'd be nice. Because if we get us a nice little linebacker, our good Mike linebacker, I think we really can go in the draft and kind of just get a BPA. And then, fill around that and stuff like that. But we'll see. I mean, I know we had so many rumors. I mean, it was just so crazy. We was in our group chat just going, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
That Max thing he dropped, I was like, wow, this is.
Yeah, it has been crazy. There's no doubt. It's been very unique. But as far as the linebacker that you're talking about, I mean, I don't know if the linebacker's out there at this point. They swung and missed at linebackers. There's no doubt. They've tried to get linebackers. Did they go overboard and overspend? No, but they did. They've been close on some of these guys, and three or four linebackers that they thought they had a shot to get, they've all signed with other teams. So at this point, I think they might have to trade for one, and. That's what I think. I think if they get a linebacker here that most of the fan base is going to be excited about, it's going to have to come through a trade at this point. That's
I know. I've been heard two rumors of two that's out there that people are really linking to us, and one of them is one of my favorites. If we get him, oh my God, boy, we get him.
Are you talking about San Francisco?
Hey, speaking my language right there. If we get him, man, he's always been my favorite. One of my favorite linebackers. I just hate he played for that team there. But the other guy, he's from LSU, so I mean, I got fondness for my college team, but I just don't think he probably be what I'm looking for. But at least it'd be something going. So we won't have to go in the draft and be just trying to hunt one so bad. But Yeah, I'm just excited, man. I can't wait to get up and kind of see what else we're doing before the day. Because I mean, we pretty much doing pretty good so far. We ain't going crazy spending. Now, but Jerry did say bust the budget, so I need to see what he really meant, because I don't want it to be like it was 2 years ago with All In, and then everybody just keep mocking him about it. You know, I'm a Jerry guy, so I'm needing to see what we're gonna do here with if we're gonna go and try to make a big splash here.
Okay.
On top of what we already did, but we'll see.
All right, Davion, appreciate it. Let's just keep this thing going. Dylan in Northport, Florida. Dylan, what's up, dude?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
What are you thinking so far?
Rashawn Gary's fine. Fine piece, but he's not the guy. He's a rotational piece, and you got to add somebody else there. You don't have. I mean, I'm looking at the pass rush room right now, and yeah, it doesn't look very pretty as far as your edges go. Need Ezzy to make a good jump, but other than that, you've got like Sam Williams, James. You got a bunch of rotational guys. They're going to play Maris Leafau out there apparently, is what I heard. And then the linebackers, man. Like here, okay. Let me give him credit first. The safety, great signing. I think that's a phenomenal signing. I think he's one of the best safeties in free agency. So mad credit for that. And I'm excited to see him use as a chess piece. But the linebacker thing has got me super frustrated, because if they were willing to take on the Max Crosby contract and give up the 2 picks, right, I'm just so confused how they don't see the value. And I know they swung for some of these linebackers, but you got to be able to land one of them. Like, trying is cool, and I give them credit for trying, but you got to be able to land one of them, because now, like you just said, we're getting into like Kenneth Murray, Jack Sanborn territory with the remaining free agents. There's a couple left, but we'll see what they do there. But now you're looking at a trade. So now you got to give up draft capital potentially for a guy, and it's just that room looks so bad right now. That linebacker room, you've got 3 bodies in there: Overshown, Shamar James, and Justin Barron, and I mean, 2 of them aren't even starter caliber guys. So I don't want to go into the draft and have to take a linebacker and he's your green dot, or you expect a ton as a rookie. You know, I would much rather have had a vet in there, and maybe they still make a trade and get a vet. But that's what's got me a little frustrated this morning.
Well, they're going to have to. They're going to have to make a trade there. And yeah, I mean, I understand the frustration. You try to get these 2 guys, or really 4 guys at linebackers. 2 of them signed with the Raiders, and you know, it's just it is what it is. I mean, like I don't think that it's it's just because you're the Cowboys or you're Jerry on the phone. You know, at the end of the day, you've got to have the contract. It's got to be the most money, and I'm kind of 50-50 on it, because on one hand, I'm like, stick to your guns. This is your price. Don't go crazy. There's a lot of people in here that don't like a lot of these linebackers. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the problem. There's not just a consensus on any of these guys, or not just linebackers. I mean, that's what the deal is with Hendrickson. That's what the deal was with Nakobe Dean. Is for everybody that liked him, there's people that are like, do not get this guy. Same with the trade from Pittsburgh, with potentially that's been talked about. There's a lot of people here in the building that are like, don't do that. So, it's.
I mean, what's the alternative? Is what I would say, right? Like you have mannequins standing there right now. You don't have any bodies.
No, and I understand that. I get that too, and I would rather them do something like that. But I have a point, but I'll wait till you're off the air, because I know you probably have a couple other things to talk about.
Just one more thing, man. I made a March Madness bracket. I don't know if you guys are interested in jumping on that, but yeah, I put one together, and I'll put it in the Storyliners community.
Yeah. This is going to be a Storyliners March Madness bracket.
Yep.
Are you a big March Madness guy? I haven't heard.
not really. Not really, but I've done these before, and they're fun. So what the hell? Let's do it. I'll throw it in the Twitter community. I'll just put the link in there with the password, and then everybody can just jump on that.
I got you. And I'll tell you what, for those that are listening that don't have that, we'll get the what's it going to be on? Like
it's the NCAA website.
On the NCAA website?
Yeah, it just takes like 2 seconds to make an account there. It's super quick.
All right, I've never done that one before. I've done like CBS, Yahoo, those, but
yeah.
All right, NCAA website. All right, we'll get all the information for that, and just is it one of those leagues where you can anybody can get in?
Yeah, there's no limits. It's password protected because I wanted to limit this to the storyline folks, the
Got
people on the call and the listeners. So there'll be a password associated with it. It's the password's Elite DAC or something like that. Like I said, I'll put it in the storyliner community, and then you can share it however you want to share it.
I'll share it on this is our last show. So
hang on. Let me just say it real quick then.
Yeah.
So if you go to the NCAA.com website, the community or the whatever you call it, the bracket, it's called Storyliners, and then the password is Elite DAC with hang on one second.
Elite.
Yeah, Elite DAC. It's an capital E, capital D, Elite DAC.
Got it. Storyliners. Let's go. Hey, and guys, when you put your name in there, don't put like Hawk 37. Put like like Dylan. Irene or Chris Beam in the back. Whatever. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
If you guys forget what it's called, just go to Twitter, go to the little search bar, look up Cowboys Storyliners on Twitter, and the information will be under that page.
Let's
go.
go.
There you go.
Well, we can talk crap.
And I'll throw it in the YouTube chat here too in a video. All right.
Dylan's gonna win because Dylan, you said you don't even watch a lot of college basketball. Those are the people that always win. I'm
gonna just close my eyes and pick, brother, and we'll see what happens.
All right. Hey, that's kind of seems like what they're doing in free agency here. No, I'm just kidding. All right, thanks, Dylan. Thanks for the call.
Right,
good stuff. Appreciate that. Leave it up to the captains to unite everyone together on that. I think that'll be cool. I think we talked about doing it last year, but you talk about it after the fact. So trying to get ahead of that. All right, you guys throw it in there, and we'll see who's got some bragging rights when it comes to that kind of stuff. All right, let's go to Zach in Atlanta.
Hey, what's up, Nick in Frisco?
What are you doing, man?
Man, living life, watching Twitter like nobody's business, trying to figure out what's going on,
Well,
free agency.
That's
Crazy.
dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. It was a popcorn kind of night last night, especially on the East Coast here. It's like, man, the news broke 9, maybe 9:30, something like that. So it's pretty crazy. We'll see. But I know everybody's talking about Max. I just spoke about Max a little bit. But I'm curious, keep Jeep always. But have the Cowboys gotten any calls on Pickens or Aubrey? I know his name has come up with a few things, but can you speak to any of that? Do you know of anything there from other teams inquiring about those guys?
No, I haven't heard that, and I don't think that's going to happen with Pickens. I don't think anyone's doing that. But as far as Aubrey, no, I haven't. I haven't heard if there's been some interest there. Personally, I think the Cowboys are in good shape, and they've let it be known. Like, you can say what you want about this year and what it's looked like, and are they doing things differently? They are. They are doing things differently. I mean, you can see if you really kind of look at all the details. They have done that. I think I would have seen a situation where the Cowboys would have signed Aubrey a little earlier, maybe, or overpaid. They're holding the cards on this one, and they love the guy, but they're also saying, "No, we're not going to go crazy here." And if you don't want to, if you want to be in the 10 million range, cool, have at it. But we're going to just give you this tender of 5.6. So you're going to see all these other kickers that are getting money that are more than that. So it's kind of like you kind of appreciate that. And there was Fairbairn, I guess, he got like a 6.5 or so. So it's like nobody's going crazy with the kicker market. I don't think there's been any calls. My prediction is that they get a deal probably around 7. That's what I think will happen. But
I got you, man. Well, thanks for that.
All right.
And this is kind of me signing off. I'm starting a different job on Monday, so I won't be able to call in really at all. I know we're doing one show a week, but come daily shows, it's going to be pretty tough for me to get in. So,
man.
I know, but making good moves for the family here.
That's good. Well, congrats to
switching
that.
it up, but
and
thanks,
I've heard that before. And every now and again, people get a chance to, one way or another, that something happens, you get a chance to call in. So don't be a stranger. Wow.
Thanks, Beam.
Wow.
Nobody's crying for me.
No.
But
All right.
I'll miss chiming in when I can. But yeah, I'll find a way.
All
Find
right.
a way. Check the text line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll be a texter like Dan in Philly.
All right.
But anyways, y'all have a good one, man.
Appreciate it. There you go. Yeah, I like that one better. I mean, you don't get the right numbers, or you miss on the Plinko at the Price is Right. I mean, you get that music, but this guy's taking another job. He's helping the family. He'll be back. Zach in Atlanta, he'll call. He'll figure out a way. These guys figure out a way. But good luck to you. All right, Chris in Saratoga Springs is next. Chris, what's up?
What's up, Nick? How are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm not too bad. Very happy about both safeties we got. I'm extremely excited about that. I was definitely a position to need. Very disappointed in the swings and misses for the linebackers. I was really hoping we would get one of those linebackers. So that part I'm definitely disappointed on. I wish we would have done a little bit more, maybe emptied the bag a little bit more, since we knew we weren't going to get Crosby, or most likely weren't going to get Hendrickson. So I'm disappointed for that, for the linebackers.
Yeah.
I know there's still an outside player in Miami. He's going to be released today. And there was kind of some talks and swirls about maybe trading for somebody like that. What's your thoughts on maybe getting somebody as a trade to get in there instead of a free agent? Because there's very few guys left. I know there's Chason, that guy's left. I think we wanted him in the draft when we drafted CeeDee Lamb. So that would be kind of a fun full circle type of move. But do you have any guys that you think that we might be focusing on for trading for linebackers?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are some. Did Chason not sign with Washington?
Yes, he did this morning.
Yeah, this morning I think so. Chason went to Washington. Yeah, so just got to block him now. I don't think that's one where people are too concerned about. But to your point, I think the trade situation is the only way. I think I said this to the caller to Davion. That's probably the best way that you're going to feel somewhat excited about, what they've done. Now, I mean, if you look at the trades, what are they batting here? I mean, 400 maybe. I mean, less than 50% when you're talking about 3 years. If you go back and look at the Gilmore trade and the Brandon Cooks deal, Pickens, who else? I mean, and then you look at Murray, Elam, Milton, Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson. If you Mingo. So if you look at some of those situations, I think it's probably a little less than 50% as far as the trades that they've made that you would say are, really good. Now, the Pickens one was out of the park, but about, I don't know, my math isn't great, about 400. I mean, if you're Tony Gwynn, that's pretty great. But if not, if you're trying to make trades and get better, less than 50%. So I say that to say, yeah, you could get another guy, you can bring in a player, and it may not just be draft capital. I mean, let's just be honest about it. I mean, every player has been restructured, but Osa. So, and Osa's name's been thrown out in the Crosby trade. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. All right, Sergeant Sue in Fort Worth is next.
At ease, everybody. How you doing, Nick?
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. A little under the weather, but it's all good. It's my birthday tomorrow, bro. So I was really hoping that the Cowboys would make some type of splash for my birthday, but, they're keeping it kind of conservative, and that's okay. I have liked the signings that they've had so far. Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate it. But, yeah, the signings that they have had so far, I do enjoy, the fact that they brought in some safeties in and, getting the edge. I share the same sentiment as a lot of people. You really, and I think Dylan hit it on the head, the best. Like, you really want a shored up, green dot, you know what I mean? And,
right.
With the defense, last year, historically bad defense, where a big issue was a lot of people weren't on the same page. And I know it's a different regime. I know it's a different DC. But, that just means that they're going to have to learn new things. And you really want a guy in here that's smart, that's going to have the green dots and be able to help everybody do that, the leader of the defense. And unfortunately, we don't really have that guy yet. But I'm trying to stay positive. Obviously, I try to remind people that one of the biggest playmakers that we had last season, the guy who everybody wants to keep, wasn't even here until May, and that's George Pickens. You know what I mean? So we're not beyond the point of bringing an impact player in. It's just us as fans, of course, we're a little impatient. We want it done now, especially with how depleted and how empty that linebacker room is. But nonetheless, man, I'm staying positive. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do and they continue to do. And then, seeing how the draft plays out. I know a lot of people are saying that, there's some good linebackers in this draft, and I do agree that there are some good linebackers in this draft, but that's a lot to ask a rookie to do, to come in here, be the green dot, kind of be the quarterback. But, maybe this is the draft to make it happen. So,
right.
Anyways, man, I'm happy that I was able to get in. I'll try to get in. I'll try to continue to get in whenever the shows may be. I was wondering, though, I was asking for a friend, when are you announcing the storyline team, bro? And I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah. It's on the dock for sure. I usually like to wait until about this time, kind of switch over the new year, but I feel like I might have done it in February. I'm on it. I would say
that was the second person today that brought that up.
Really?
One person brought it up on before the call. And
yeah,
Sue brought it up on the air.
We're gonna have to we'll do a different show. We'll do a different show for that. We'll just ask Derek. Derek, is that okay? He didn't say no. It's good. No, we'll do another show just for that specifically, because I didn't want to try to weave it in the middle here with all this free agent talk and all that. So let things kind of slow down a little bit. We'll find a day to do one another time, and then we'll announce it. We're working on a few things there too, as far as what is it T-shirts, is it Gillette razors, or both, whatever. We'll figure that out. Let's go to break though, real quick on Cowboys Storyline. I'll be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. Gillette's Best Shave is now available in cowboy colors, 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor is truly the best a Cowboy fan can get. Go to Gillette.com. All right, let's get back to the callers. We got Josh in Chicago. Josh, what's up?
Hey, not much. How you doing?
I'm good. You?
Good. Hey, congrats to Zach in Atlanta. I'll still call in sometimes and you can confuse us every now and then or something, all right?
I don't know why. I really don't. I don't know why that those two are linked. You guys are linked together. I'm not sure.
There's worse people to be
You know
linked
what,
to than
though?
Zach.
There's
you know?
something about those two names. There's a guy that works here named Zach, and I always want to call him Josh. I don't know why. So maybe that's
why, because of that guy. You just that's how you confuse the two of us.
I don't know. But then there's Josh in the back. I don't ever call him Zach. So I don't know. It's the Zacks that get me. Anyways, Josh in Chicago. Not really in Chicago, but it's okay.
Yeah, kind of. Still claim it, right?
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I was going back and forth with Rob in Vegas before the trade with the Ravens and the Raiders went through, and then not so much last night. But I just I'm not upset at all about not trying to go for Max. I think it'd be foolish to say we're out of this entirely, and maybe that's just posturing right now because he's still a good player, but the value is what matters. And kind of getting at your point about even Nakobe Dean signing with the Raiders. If you're constantly moving off your mark of what you're valuing or what the value you're putting at players, that's how people get overpaid. Right. And I know in the past you and I have talked about like inflated contracts, and that's what happens, right? If you start getting into bidding wars and don't hold your line, that's how you end up with bad contracts for players that either get hurt later on or are past their prime or aren't putting out the same output. So I'm happy with what we're doing so far. I want a linebacker, but I'm happy that we have 2 first-round picks still. And if this is week 1, this is something I mentioned last night on Twitter. Like today may be the start of the league year, but it's not week 1. So like we still have a lot of equity and we still have a lot of time to see how things will play out.
Right.
And if week 1 comes up or week 6 comes up and we're like sitting there at 4-2 and we're like, man, we really need a pass rusher. Well, then we can talk about leveraging some future then, too. So it's not over today. It's not over on week 1 or week 2 or week 3. It lasts throughout the whole season, right? Like talent management and gaining talent, it's a year-round, 365 days a year thing.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You're the one on the line, so you're the one that's going to get the question. Because I do it sometimes when people hang up, I just ask a question, then obviously no one's answering it. I'll ask you. Would you trade 20th overall for Crosby, knowing everything that we know right now? Would you do that? 20 for Crosby?
I need their third though. Yeah, I would. I'd give up 20. Yeah, because I think 12 you still have a chance at some really high value young guy, right? Like someone's gonna fall through. So like I'm okay with 20, and I was always okay with 20. I haven't moved off that because I want to see what the rest of the reports are, right? Like there's still a lot to find out.
I'm with you.
But I need something back from the Raiders. I need like a day 2. I need like a third for that too or something.
Okay, so that being said, and I'm not saying that a rookie is this guy, but if that's kind of the mindset, and I think a lot of people listening would probably say, yeah, they would do that, because you kind of know what you're getting. That being said, would you go 12 and 20, and go up for 5 or 6 and get one of those Ohio State guys?
Yeah,
5 or 6.
I would. I'm on record. I'd give up that for Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles or Reese. I don't think Reese makes it to 5 or 6, but Styles and Downs, I absolutely would.
I think I would too now. I mean, two picks to go up there.
Well, especially with what we've done so far with safety and even with Rashawn Gary, right? Like, there's more that I want to do at linebacker. There's more that I want to do at edge. But if you're telling me I can get one of those guys added to this defense, I think that drastically improves your defense right now. I think that those 2 players specifically will be generational talents too.
Yeah. So all right.
Yeah, I would.
Good stuff. All right.
Thanks, Nick.
All right. Thanks for the call. Let's go. Let's shift quickly over to Irene in Falls Church. Irene, what's up?
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, you talk about the season being a roller coaster. What in the world? This free agency is chaos, which I do appreciate as a lover of chaos. But as a Cowboys fan, it's a little murky. So, I'm with Dylan. I agree that I liked the beginning of day 1. It started out really promising. And then I guess it sounds like we missed out on 3 or 4 linebackers, so that was quite painful to watch. And then yesterday we get the hold up, they're backing out. And I think everyone thinks that the Ravens sort of said, oh, well, Hendrickson we can get without losing 2 firsts. And for $28 million, that's not what we thought. So maybe we'll just pivot. Now, I'm sure there's something to his injury. I'm not saying it's completely without cause, but it does seem like weighing all their options, it made more sense to do what they did. It sounds like Dr. Coop. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're right about that, and I want you to finish that point. I was just saying we'll find that out too by seeing if the Raiders change their asking price. You know what I mean? Because if they're holding their guns to the two number ones, then they don't really see much of a difference. Then it seemed like it was more of a Ravens really backing out and going, we don't want to lose the picks, and we'll just get a comparable player for cheaper.
Right, which is kind of what I would have wanted the Cowboys to do instead of Max. I was not okay with the 2 first. Even what they offered was kind of high for me, but I would have understood it and been fine with it, but not as excited about it. But yeah, we'll see what comes out with that. So far, they're sticking to their guns, I guess. And the other part of it is that I guess Dr. Cooper was a part of the evaluations on the scans, but that doesn't mean he was like, oh no, you can't do this. It just means he read the scans and they decided. So I'm in real estate, right? It reminds me if I have a buyer who's looking at multiple properties and it's a crazy competitive market and it's a condo or an association, you have this like freebie out. You can write 2 offers and get one out if the other one works out, because sometimes you're writing multiples and you can't get anything. So it kind of reminded me of that. But anyway, the other thing, so what with the linebackers, now it looks like has to be a trade, or I don't know what the issue is with Bobby Okereke, because he's a free agent, so we can talk free agents, right? He was with the Giants. Seems like he had comparable skills to Devin Lloyd in terms of, I don't know what metric it was, but something about catch rate, I think, against him. So, there's still an option out there. I just don't know what Christian Parker wants.
Right.
But what I don't imagine he wants is to go into the draft not having a linebacker. I know they got Rashawn Gary, and I know he's familiar with them, and that's fine. But my guy would have been Owe, and the Commanders just, man, look at them. They're doing pretty well. We'll see how it works out. But, I don't know. It's just they seem to be pigeonholed. But I would like to get a linebacker, and then I don't think there's really an edge at this point. I mean, I guess you could get Chubb and see what happens there. Injuries. Or you just re-sign Clowney. That might be the option. So, all right, I guess we'll see where things go. Thanks.
All right, thanks for the call. I think it's worth pointing out that, I mean, we can look at teams. Start with the Cowboys. I mean, you could look at them and what do you think they've done? They've done well. They haven't done well. They could have done more. All this stuff. Look at other teams and go, man, they're doing well. But let's also not forget the fact that, I mean, it looked like Washington was doing well a couple years ago when they were signing Biotish and signing Dorrance Armstrong and getting all the, spending all this money. And then, I mean, they've cut Biotish. I mean, we thought Denver did well when they outbid the Cowboys and got Dre Greenlaw, and then they cut him. So, like, I don't want to name a specific player, but what if we're here in a year and the Raiders have cut one of those guys that they picked up or somebody like that? So just remember, this is what same could be said about Jalen Thompson. I mean, with the Cardinals. So, I think it's good to say that, and we see the rankings and all that, but we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, this is something the Cowboys haven't done a lot, and there's a reason for it, but they have done it. They've tried to be players in it, maybe not as high as others, but I mean, just because you get outbid by the Raiders doesn't mean anything, because they've been doing this for years and they've got the cap space for it and all that. All right, let's go to speaking of Vegas, let's go to Rob in Vegas. Rob, what's up?
Hey Nick, how's everything?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I may need Chris to play that game show music after seeing what's going on with Jerry's busting the budget thing.
Pretty good, huh?
No, man, it's ridiculous. He comes up with, all in 1 year and bust the budget. Listen, he's a showman. He's awesome when it comes to marketing and keeps the fans engaged. But it's been a terrible free agency.
What? Terrible?
Yeah, I mean, you know what you need. And we talked about this last week, and I know you said, let's wait I knew bust the budget meant he's going to probably sign Pickens, and that's going to be his bust the budget. But that doesn't make the Cowboys better. It keeps you the same. And I also said, him bringing in this DC, he's going to ask this guy to be a magician. And you know how the interview probably went. You like these guys, and of course, when you're interviewing to get a job, oh yeah, Jerry, I could work with these guys.
Rob. We've heard all of those points before. Now I'm going to ask, since free agency started, I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to give me the new points. What should they have done differently in your mind? What would make you unsalty?
The two most important positions in the NFL are quarterback and pass rusher today, and that's why they're paid the most. You have no pass rushers. There was at least 8 of them out there that you could have got, and you didn't get any. And I'm sorry, you don't know what the rate is. I love what people say. Well, they tried. No, you got to seal the deal. If you got to pay an extra $1 million, that's just the way it is, and you know that going in. Now, I never thought they were going to get Trey Hendrickson, because once I saw these guys falling off the board at $25 million, I knew they weren't going to pay $30. I wanted them to get trade for Max, because if they traded, then I know I got him, because I don't trust them in free agency. So they make it sound, we almost had him. No, you can't almost have some guys. You got to close the deal, like Jerry used to say, and they didn't. And now there's nobody. And then you spend time and effort to sign Mingo and bring back Sam Williams. Why? I wouldn't even put effort to that.
Oh.
I mean, those guys are meaningless. You got no linebackers. You got shut out for linebackers. So now you're going to make a trade. Well, what are you trading? You had to close one of the deals. If you weren't going to pay for the edge rusher, the pass rusher, you had to get a linebacker.
Time out. They didn't sign Mingo, okay? They reduced his salary. I mean, that's Mingo, Terrence Steele,
I know it's
Hooker.
Yeah, but Terrence Steele, I get. He's a starter. He matters. Sam Williams, I would have never brought back.
Yeah.
And Mingo, I would have thought about that a month from now. Yeah. But my thing is, I'm just sorry, you had to close the deal on one of those positions, and you didn't.
Yeah. Well,
and then we just found out that the Dak window is fake. We've been hearing this Dak window. Well, obviously there is no Dak window, because you're doing nothing to help this defense. I mean, now they got a chance at getting Max. To me, they have to do it. The only way you improve this defense now, and the only guy out there that could do it, and for you to save face, is now you got to go make the move for Max. That's to me, he's the only guy now that could actually bring something to the table on his defense. And with Gary, I mean, Gary's a good player, but do I think Gary's really better than Clowney? Probably not. Clowney had more sacks last year than Gary did, and he didn't even play the full season, and he's way cheaper. So I don't know. It's same old to me.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Rob. It doesn't feel that way to me. I mean, it doesn't feel same old to me. But the free agency. It was funny is I'm looking at NFL.com free agency winners and losers, and it hasn't even. I mean, it really officially hasn't even started yet. Which I know it has started, but it's still we're still. We got a ways to go here, and it's not just the guys that are out there in free agency. I mean, there'll be some trades there'll be some more guys cut, because you got to remember there's some guys that are cut after in the first 5 days of the league year, so there'll be a little bit more players available than what you see right now. I mean, I get the frustration, but let's don't throw in the Sam Williams, Sam Howell that they picked up, the quarterback, and they didn't restructure Mingo. They just basically lowered his salary. Same thing they did with Hooker and Steele. I mean, just because you have to figure out your car payment or your house payment, it doesn't mean that the Netflix bill isn't due either. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you still have to pay that, even though it's not the same. Like, they still want their money too. So I always hate when people do that when they say, "Oh, all these other teams are getting better, and you're doing this you're getting Sam Williams and you're getting Sam Howell." These are things that you have to, that were in the cards for them to do. I wasn't high on bringing back Sam Williams, but for that low risk deal, and let's see if he's an outside linebacker. I mean, he's going to try something. They're going to have something different with him. Let's see if he can rush off the edge. I know this: if you can block a punt and a field goal as well as he can, then you've got some burst. You've got something off the edge. Let's see what he can do in a 3-4. I wasn't jumping up around for that one, but it's fine. It's not that big a deal. But let's not act like they're not doing anything. But they say, all right, Devin Lloyd or Quay Walker. That was the one that they liked a lot more than Nakobe Dean. I mean, Quay Walker was one I think they were a little bit upset that they didn't get that done. But they have a price for it, and they didn't want to go over. All right, let's go to Rick in Webster, Massachusetts.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I agree with Irene and Davey on something like that. It was a crazy day yesterday, especially in the evening.
Yeah.
Twitter's blowing up with the Max story. But what I was going to say was I liked what happened on day one. You haven't had this much activity on day one since, I don't know, years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, doing something on day one, and you got, a very good safety, which they don't usually deal with safety stuff. They just look in the late round draft to pick up safeties. So getting this one of the top free agent safeties and paying him a 3-year deal, that's pretty good to my book. Rashawn Gary, that was what they looked for the first time when they were trying to trade Micah to Green Bay, and they just said, no, you can't have Gary. We'll give you Clark. Now we got both. So that's still a positive to me. Linebacker situation, yeah, that was a little miss on that part, but some of them, like, the coaches and the owners and everything, talk to the team, and they go back and forth. So they got some insight that we may not have, or reporters may not have, of why they weren't interested in Lloyd because of some schemes, or he wasn't always in the right position, or something like that. That's why they didn't give him a 5th-year deal, option. So somebody's, oh, we don't like this guy. Another team picks him up. Oh, look at how good he is. But it could be a bust, too. So
yeah.
We never know. Same with Nakobe with his injuries. That was his decision.
Right.
They offered, from what I heard, they offered him more. He decided to go to Vegas because his Georgia friends are there, not come to Dallas.
Right, and I've heard that too about the Georgia teammates. I guess Pickens isn't a teammate. I don't know. I don't remember how many years Nakobe Dean's been in the league, but no, I heard that too. And at the end of the day, these guys have a decision to make. I mean, like they decide where they want to go and where they want to play and how it fits for them. But the Nakobe Dean is an interesting one too, because like I said, there are people here in the building that were like, don't do that. Don't do that for $5 million a year, much less was 15, 13. Like there's people that just didn't like that because it's an undersized linebacker that's been hurt. You got one of those, a lot of potential, but he's relatively undersized to play linebacker, and he's been hurt. So we'll see how it goes. And I don't like to poke holes in anybody's, game, because it's like, well, Cowboys wanted him. And then, it's like when you don't get him, then you're not going to sit here and say, he's not good. I'm just telling you, there are people that are in the building that were like, good, we didn't need that guy, and probably the same about some of the others. And so, you're not going to get 1,000% of people here in the scouts and the coaches that are all. I'm sure that's happened a lot. I'm sure we all heard the story. Steven didn't want the money spent on Deion Sanders. So sometimes Jerry's going to have to make that decision, or Steven's going to have to make that decision if it's not 100%. But I know this. So when that happens. You say, all right, this is our price. This is our price for this, and we're really not going to go over it. So, and I think that's kind of what happened in that situation. All right, let's go to Ed in Shreveport, Louisiana. Ed, what's up?
How you doing, Nick?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm okay. Man, I don't understand with some of these Cowboys fans. You can't please everybody. We need to trust this young coaching staff. And I believe in what you're saying. Hey, letting the COVID Dean go to the Raiders. Raiders don't have a good track record of getting players anyway. And the Max Crosby situation, I wanted him, but I was kind of skeptical. I was like, do we really want to bring in somebody who's had another injury? That's what we depended on Rebel to get healthy. We depended on Bland to get healthy. This draft is full of defensive players. We hired this defensive coaching staff because they can teach. I believe in Shadi. Let's get this young coaching staff a chance, draft some players, let them teach, and if we can pick up a couple more free agents, that'll be fine. We've done more than we've done in the past. I don't understand why so many Cowboy fans are so just pessimistic. I don't get
it. I'm with you. Ed. First of all, I want to say thanks for this is your first time calling, so we got to get that. Here we go. So appreciate that, and I'm with you. I'm kind of I understand a little bit of the frustration on we want to get this and that, but I just don't agree with the same old. It really hasn't been to me, and it's not just making a trade for Gary or signing Jalen Thompson. It's some of the other things with, hey, we're cutting salary here. There's just how quickly they've moved on things. I just like what I've seen so far. I'm not saying it's perfect, but
no,
I like it, and we're not done yet.
At least we're moving forward. We're not going backwards.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, let's just see. Let's just see how it all kind of plays out here in the next.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah,
Nick?
Of course.
With coming out with the medical exam now, would you really still give up a first round draft pick for Max Crosby?
Yeah, I would give 20.
You would give 20?
Mm-hmm.
Would you want something back from the Raiders, or just a straight up one draft pick and let's see how it works out?
It's tough because I'm not obviously not a doctor, and I haven't I slept at home last night, so I didn't stay in the hotel and all that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what all that looks like. But I would think the Cowboys had a good grasp on that when they were throwing around their offer to start with. So I personally think that the Ravens, I just think that they were like, wait a second. The Hendrickson market is not what we thought. Yeah. We could have got this guy and no draft picks. Well, let's back out of it. If that's the case, then I don't know what's necessarily changed. Rob in Vegas just called in and said they have to make that move, and I don't know about have to.
No, I don't think they have to.
I don't think they have to, but I think that they could. I still think that they could. I would. Let's just see how it plays out here, because I don't think this thing's dead. As far as, I don't think Max Crosby's just showing up now back with the Raiders facility and is like, all right, let's go to work. I mean, there's been some damage done there, and it has to be. Even though I've seen reports that say, oh, he's committed. We'll see, because I'll say this. When this is probably not a good analogy, but when the wife gets mad at the husband and throws the clothes out into the driveway, do they ever go back up on the rack? You know, I mean, do they ever go back the normal way and be like, oh, sorry, these are my clothes here? I don't know. Maybe. That hasn't happened to me.
Yeah, I think we just should give him a chance, and if it works out, hey, I'm not going to turn it down that he is on our team. You know, it'll be a great addition, but I can't a first and a second now. No, I can't. I don't really want to do that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me get in there, and appreciate Nick, and longtime fan.
Man, good hearing from you. Ed in Shreveport. Good stuff. All right, let's go to break. Let's go to our last break here on Cowboy Storyline. I'll be right back after this.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together. And we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Cowboys Storyline. Presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
Officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com. All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline. We got about 10 or 15 more minutes to go. Have a caller on the line. I want to say, for the most part, everyone's been relatively optimistic. Rob in Vegas, that's kind of what he does, and that's why he's a captain on the show. I think everybody is wanted to hear, what Rob thinks, and is there anybody kind of upset with the moves? They could have done more. They always could do more. I mean, that's the thing with free agency. You can always kind of make it work, but I should have said this when he was on the line, and I don't like saying this sometimes after they hang up, but, I kind of brought up, I think if I remember correctly, Dre Greenlaw was a guy that he mentioned several times about, you got to get these guys in here, you got to pay for them, and, do you want to pay? Do you want to say, I'm going to win this battle? I'm going to win this. I'm going to sign Devin Lloyd. I'm going to make him sign here. I'm going to make Nakobe Dean just sign here. And then you're cutting him next year to save money? And so I get it. I get that the fans are like, I don't care about next year. I care about right now. But the Cowboys, and a lot of teams, they don't operate the same way. So it's easy for us to sit back and go, should have done it. What's another $1 million? What's another $2 million? I get it, but in some cases, it's a player. It's another player. It's another number. It's another guy here. So I would just say this, and I say this on the people that are excited and for the people that aren't excited. Let's see what this show looks like next Wednesday. And I wish we had more than one show, but let's see what next Wednesday's show looks like. Officially, free agent hasn't even started yet. It has, but it hasn't, it's not officially underway. Nobody's really signing anything yet. And then let's see what it looks like in a week or so. If they make more trades, or I think there's a couple things in the works here. I was told several times this week that we're not done. We're not done. So we'll see. We'll see what that actually means. Brandon in Fresno, California is next.
What's up, Nick, man? Long time no talk, man.
Yeah. How are you doing, Brandon?
I've been busy, man. I actually picked up a second job, too, so I'm working hard.
All right. Good.
Yeah,
good for you.
Man, like I said, a long time no talk. Just wanted to keep in touch with the show. I'm still around. Everybody's, it seems like everybody's mad, but you go back a couple of years ago, man, Cowboys weren't signing anybody in free agency. So for them to just be signing, a couple guys, I'm good with it, they're filling spots. They're not making the big name splashes, but, they never really have.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. Gary's good. The safety from Arizona, that's good. It's just filling in these holes. I'm looking forward to the draft.
Yeah.
And then you had mentioned, if we had the shot to move up to 6, I kind of would take that. Just to do it. But other than that, I'm good with where we're at. I know everybody's like, oh, go get Max Crosby now. And obviously he didn't pass his physical for a reason. And like you said, bring him in, and then next year we're worrying about having to pay him and this and that. So I'm good with it. And if that was the case, if you wanted to do that, you were better off keeping Micah then.
Yeah. Right.
In all reality. So I'm okay with it. I know everybody's like, oh, well, Sam Howell and, this. And we're okay. We're going to be fine.
Right. I agree.
So I just wanted to say that. You have a good rest of your week, Nick, and it was good talking to you.
All right, you too. Thanks for the call. Yeah, it it is what it is. It's very difficult to sit here and say should have done this, should have done that. Now the Crosby thing, just out of principle, I don't I agree with you, Brandon. I don't know how you can just say we'll trade 2 number 1s when that's what you got for Micah. Because I think most people thought or think that Micah's still better, right? He's still a better player than Max Crosby. So if you're going to make a trade for 2 number 1s, and you could have just done it in the first place, and you could just figured out a way to keep him and all that, which they didn't. But I just think out of principle, it's hard to do that. And that's why they didn't. The Cowboys weren't giving up 2 number 1s. Now, the reported trade offer was a player and a second, and a first-round pick. So, and the Raiders went for 2. Let's just see what the Raiders' asking price is now, or if they're even, asking for anything. I know like $30 million went back to their cap, but they're still okay cap-wise with all the moves that they've made, and then getting that money that they thought was going to be off the books now back on the books. I still think they're okay. That they may be done with what they figure out, but all right, we'll see. Again, if it sounds like I don't have a lot of answers, because we don't. We don't have the answers. It does sound like the Cowboys have said that they are not interested at the moment in going back to the Max Crosby table there. I would just caution saying we'll see. All right, Erwin in Colorado is next.
Hey, Nick. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, I know everybody's talking about Max Crosby, and I'm going to chime in a little bit on that. I want to agree with Rob and disagree with Rob. I think that the Cowboys have done some good things. Obviously, the 2 safeties that they've signed, and Gary, we don't really know yet. He seems like he's a pretty good player from Green Bay, but we'll see how that works out. The thing that I agree with Rob is I definitely think that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones kind of have to save face now with the whole Crosby thing. They were really wanting the guy. They were willing to give up, a first and second and then a player. And not often do teams get a second chance at a player of his caliber. Well, they have it now. So we'll just kind of see what happens. I know there's reports saying that they're not interested. I think they kind of are interested in him. But like you just said, what are the Raiders willing to do? Are they willing to back off on those, their initial want for him, those 2 1s, or do they just want to keep him? So I'll just get your thoughts on that, and hopefully, the Cowboys hit on those 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And thanks for my call.
Thanks, Erwin. Yeah, it's real and interesting on where the Raiders are now and where like Max Crosby is and all that, because he might have a different view about things as well. With with what the Raiders have done in free agency and who they've brought there at linebacker behind him and all that. So I we wouldn't know what that means. I just have a hard time thinking that you've shopped the deal, you've tried to get a trade, you've got multiple teams calling, you've got all these factors here, and then you picked one, you made the trade, next thing you know they're backing out of it. I just have a hard time thinking it's like, oh, well, they didn't work out. Well, here's your locker, let's go. I mean, I still think that they're gonna want something for him, and I'd be surprised if he's not traded. So that being said, I mean, I think the Cowboys, like you said, Erwin, like you guys have said, pick up the phone again. Like, what's going on? I mean, there's these things are happening for a reason, and I think it doesn't make a lot of sense if you're like, nah, we're good now because you have Rashawn Gary. I mean, technically, the Cowboys could back out from that. I mean, you could. Then the league going to piss off the league really fast. But I'm just saying, you could if you wanted to. All right, let's go to Chris in San Angelo.
Mr. Nick, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good last time I checked.
All right.
I just had a couple things real quick. First off, with them keeping Sam Williams, I'm really okay with that because I don't think that Coach Parker is the kind of guy that's just going to say, I like him because he thinks the team wants to hear that. I think that he has a plan for that.
Yeah.
And so I got no problem there. My other thing is, what is your take on, it was glossed over earlier with the Leofau moving to outside linebacker. Now, apparently he's supposed to bulk up a little bit, what I hear. So I'm wondering if you see that as any kind of a risk, any kind of risky just with the body change of him doing that as far as his special teams play and just in his play in general, or do you think that's another one where Coach Parker is just like, this, I got a plan for this.
Yeah.
And sticking with that theme. I was just going to see what you thought about that.
Yeah. All right, thank you for the call. I mean, Leofau, I think this is just an attempt to see if he can, if he can play. I mean, see where he kind of fits here. It's a classic tweener because he's not going to play in a 3-4. He's not going to be there one of your inside linebackers. I mean, that's just not really his role there. On the outside, as an edge rusher, he doesn't really look the part there. But I think he'll add some weight to it, and it'll, like you said, I think the word that you said twice about him and a Sam Williams is a plan. Is what's the plan there for a player like that? Seems like a classic nickel linebacker. And then again, Shamar James does as well. So you've got linebackers that don't necessarily fit the prototype, but we're thinking 3-4, maybe old school ways too. And it's been a while since we've really seen the 3-4 in this type of situation. In the new age NFL and all that. So let's see how Christian Parker's view is. I'm with you on the Sam Williams. I mean, I wouldn't put spend a lot of money on that, but because he's playing a different defense and a different scheme, I could see maybe him having some success there. But he's got to be a good disciplined player and can't have a lot of penalties and things like that. But we saw a little bit out of him last few games of the season. So, and like you said, Christian Parker had a vision for him. All right, let's go to Lester in Minnesota.
Morning, Nick.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. I give a grade for what's going on right now. I give a C plus, B minus. The way I look at it from my point of view is they're building, a new team and a new culture on defense. So
The coach needs certain players. So they're doing two things at one time and three things at one time. And Jerry and the team, they're changing their philosophy a little bit. So we need to be a little patient with them. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a proponent of hurt players, but I think in this instance, since we have went down this line with hurt players before, don't know, I'm not a doctor like you said. I didn't stay at the hotel last night, but Cosby, man, you need to go get that, man, if, the price is a good price. I don't know the injury thing, but I think we just need to go get them and sit them on the shelf or whatever for half a year, however long it takes, because he is a difference maker. As far as the linebackers, at this point, if we're not going to make a trade, I'm sure we probably will, but if we're not, let's go ahead and get old man Wagner, put him in there, and then draft a stud in the draft and let Wagner kind of teach him or whatever, and then that's your future right there.
I'm with you. I think you have to do that at this point. A veteran linebacker. I think a veteran linebacker that's been around. I mean, you've seen some success there with Kendricks. I thought Kendricks was the decent move there, and I think that's kind of where they stand. This is the point where free agency. I don't know if Band-Aid's the right word, but you do put a Band-Aid on certain positions of like, we can roll with this. We can roll with this if we have to. If we can get better, we can get better. I mean, Rob Jones is an example of that, the guard that they brought in last year. $3 million a year. Hey, he started. He'll be fine. He'll be fine for us. And then you get to the draft and you're like, 12th overall pick, the best guy we've got on our board is Tyler Booker. Let's do it. And let's get much better there. And Rob Jones is pretty much out of the equation. And then, of course, he got hurt. But that's the point. Like, you go into that in certain positions, and that'll be interesting. If I don't think Caleb Downs will fall to 12, but if you're sitting there and they made a move to move up, and he was one of those guys. Yeah, they've signed a couple of safeties here in free agency, but I don't think that would change their mind if he was the guy that they went up to get. I don't know if you go up to get him, but maybe you go up to get Styles. It's go to 6, and if Styles is off the board, then maybe you would get a Downs or somebody like that. So I think the point is that linebacker, you get a guy that you can go and you can play with, but if you can get better, you get better. So, all right, great show, guys. Appreciate the calls. 15 calls. I know this is a kind of a weird time here because it's our show's early in the morning on Wednesday. Free agency starting later. So if you watch this show on demand, watching it later, there could be some moves that happen, and we'll talk about them next week. Like I said, let's see what next week's show looks like before we really say, this has been a great start. This has been a bad start, somewhere in between. Still a lot to be done here over the next few days. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you next time on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!